What's going on, YouTubers? What's poppin'? East New York's finest, host by Mike. Just want to say seasoned greetings and salutations to everyone. With that basically being said, I just want to talk a little bit about where my head is on collectibles and such. Like, for instance, last Thursday, I went to to Columbus land. To Columbus Flea Market. Met up with a dude named Eric, another brother. He sold me some stuff along with everybody else he sold stuff to. And then last Monday I went down to South Philly, which is like an area you don't want to be in if you don't know. I mean, that shirt reminded me of like Baltimore. But anyway, just ugh. But people were nice though. And he got a beautiful warehouse. But anyhow, I picked up stuff from him. And I'm very strategic on how I do things. And I basically took all what I thought was fodder, like all of the DVDs, the VHS, and the CDs. I had them there for hours. Probably about 2.5, 3 hours before packing up and leaving. A white woman came by with her husband, and she brought the DVD stuff. I had a couple people pick through a couple of DVDs. Nobody brought the VHSs because I told everybody that I was selling them in bulk. As in I was selling all of it. I took it only out there to do that, but I did let some people nitpick through a couple things because there was so many DVDs, it wouldn't have mattered anyway. And I sold her everything for $110. Some of y'all might be like, "What? You crazy, man? You like, what about your tolls and your gas and everything going down there? Like, that's fucking retarded." But yeah. But again, like I said, I kept all the great shit. I kept all the CDs that I think very few CDs that were used. I think mass majority of them were all sealed. I kept all of the better VHS movies used and sealed. Same thing for DVDs, and I think very few Blu-rays. The Blu-rays I didn't mean to give the woman, but at that time when her husband was coming back and forth taking loads to the car, that's why I brought my hand truck. And I was about to tell her, you know what? The Blu-rays are not included. She probably wouldn't have had a problem with it, but you know what? It wasn't her fault that I didn't think fast enough. So even though I was contemplating on it, I didn't want to do it. But I was like, fuck, I should have kept the Blu-rays. But whatever. So you could say I'm about $40 into just breaking even, but I have a huge box of just horror DVDs. Most of them are like not only just B horror, but like C and probably D if there's ever such thing. Maybe even down to E. I don't know, but I do know horror VHS is fucking like outstanding to find, and of course the horror DVDs are right behind it because there is a huge horror classic. So I might actually hold on to that box and maybe I'll go to a horror convention. I don't know yet. I'll cross that bridge when I get there. I'm already around 40. I guess you could say about 35-40% into what I paid for them. The toys and stuff, I mean, I gave this guy money for everything. The two radios, people were interested in it, but they were only interested in one versus the other. But I got both of them for free, along with the Simpsons, the Simpson plushes. Now I did keep 6 sets of the Burger King Simpson plushes. At first I was just gonna take everything out and try to sell it. I said, you know what? Each set goes for between 15 to around $35. Sold on eBay for the 5 of them. Of course, you got my God, Homer, you got Marge, Bart, Lisa, and Maggie. So I went through everything, and I noticed there were only 6 complete sets. So I kept those. So I figured if I can get like $20 a set, I might say 30. And somebody might say, would you take 20 or 25 anyway? So I'll say 15. So at 15 a set, that's around what, 75, almost $80 for the 6 of them. So I would add that in the grand total of what I paid him for everything. The toys I probably should have stayed away from. I'm not gonna. One thing about me is I don't. I call a spade a spade. I don't sugarcoat anything. I'm not gonna make myself look bigger than I am. And I mean, you fuck up, you fuck up, and I fucked up. I kind of knew the profit margin wasn't really there. Like I only brought one box of the Starbucks cups. I think it comes like 4 or 5 per thing, and I think there was like, I don't know, maybe 8 or 12, somewhere between 8 and whatever. And he basically sold them to me for $5 a cup. Hello, I'm upstairs. I'm up here. Yeah. Oh. All right. You want me to come? Or you want to come over to Jersey, then go to? What do you want to go to Brooklyn for anyway? That they got one right here in Jersey. But what do you want to go to New York for? All right, so I'll pick up a brick church and we'll just go straight there then. All right. You ever notice how sometimes you talk to your wife and they talk alien, you have no idea what the fuck they're talking about? Anyhow, what the fuck was I talking about? Oh yeah, so the deal with Eric, South Philly Eric, or SP Eric. That's actually a good one. SP Eric, South Philly Eric. Yeah, that's good. That has a good ring to it. SP Eric, SP Eric, S P P Eric. Anyhow, so yesterday I made just under $1,000. I didn't think so because it was kind of a dragging, slow day. I can always tell at a market. I've been doing flea markets for about 14 years now. Oh, somewhere around there. And I noticed every flea market I've sold at, whether it was in, I mean, there's a couple flea markets outside of Green Acres, the Aqueduct, of course, Columbus, and the Meadowlands. Like you got Belmore in Belmore, Long Island. You have the other one in Queens. I can't remember. But it was like 2 other ones I also sold at before too. And I don't know how good or how bad the market is. I'm one of the vendors that I don't give a damn about selling to resellers and other vendors. A lot of people, they frown upon it. They don't like it because they feel like they're taking money away from them. Let me explain something to you. If I look this up and it's going for $70 and I put 25 or 30 on it just to get rid of it, I don't care. If I get a storage unit, or if I forget to look this up, and if I want $10 for it and you know it's worth 100, I don't give a fuck. All I want is I'm happy with my $10. If you could turn around and say, oh well, this thing goes for like $70-80, I'm like, oh word, well I hope you get it. I won't be like, oh that's fucked up, or I won't even in my mind like, damn man, I know I should look it up. Now I don't care. As long as I get what I want for it, I don't give a fuck. But if you tell me that it's worth this and that, at least I know for the next time what to look for. But I don't really care. As long as I get what I want for something, I don't care what it's worth. The whole point of the game is, I can make money and eat, and you can make money and eat. Whether you make more than me, I don't care. As long as I get what I want, I've always been like that. You know what I'm saying? And but so with him, I actually kept most of the stuff. Like I said, so the horror DVDs. There's a whole box of them. I mean, tons of them. I mean, and I put The Grudge in there, Final Destination, some of the other regular movies that hit the movie theaters. There's like a whole bunch of movies that, if you gotta be a real horror person to understand the movies, because there's movies I never really heard of. But it's a big box. It's gotta be at least 50 or more, probably close to 50 or 60 of them. I don't know. But those I would probably do like fucking $10 a pop or more, or I would just sell a whole box to somebody that does horror, and I should be able to make. I think with that box alone, I should be able to make at least. Nah, I say at least 55 to 65% of what I paid for everything, including the toys. And then there's CDs. There's CDs in there that I got everything from Anthrax to Guns N' Roses. And most of those CDs should be no less than $5, and it's got to be at least 20 or 25 of those. So that's like another $200. I mean, I would probably do all the CDs for like, let's say 100. You know what I mean? And then there's like some other VHS movies that it's some good shit there. I think it's good stuff there. If I turn around and just sold everything to somebody, like, hey, listen, I should be able to easily get like $350 for that stuff. And that's on the low end. I always like going low because my expectations are right where they should be. So if I make more money, great. If I make exactly what my expectations are, great, because I still make more than what or at least what I guessed. So that's basically how I do that stuff. So outside of that, the toys, a lot of people with normal brains probably wouldn't have got them because, you come across a lot of this shit at Ross and Ollie's. And speaking of that, I look at a lot of people YouTube videos and I just like, everybody's, raving about this His Tank. I don't like I've always been, my favorite toy company outside of Matchbox when it came to figures has always been Hasbro. And mainly because they did Star Wars, Transformers, and of course my favorite toy period is G.I. Joe. G.I. Joe will always be even more so than statues and Hot Toys, and that says a lot because I have a huge love for the 1/6 scale game. I just don't really like what Hot Toys and Sideshow has done in recent years in the past. For anybody who remember my old Mike Son 007 channel, you would know that. I do love them. I've always been more of a fan of what Hot Toys done over Sideshow because Sideshow stuff still doesn't have the quality of Hot Toys. But there's all these other different companies out. Like this dude named Wally. He comes from New York, from Belmore Flea Market. And I didn't even, when I already, set up, when I already packed up and I was walking around, I noticed that he was there. And he came in like a SUV instead of a Ford Explorer, as a matter of fact, instead of like a box truck. And he had like 2 figures, and he was like, yo, give me $500 for him. Like, his prices are fucking nuts. Like, he had, he still has that New York attitude and that New York price thing where he just think that he's out of his fucking mind. That's why they were still sitting there. There was I don't know, I forgot the name of the company, but he had like a 1/6 scale version of the Riddler from like, I guess the CW TV show. And then he had like the Joker. I forgot the dude that played the Joker. But he had like a version of the Joker, and he's like, "Oh, give me $500 for the pair." And I looked at him, I was like, $500 for these? I was like, "Man, you out your..." I ain't saying nothing. I just gradually walked away. And I was like, "Dude, I brought fucking licensed figures. I brought Hot Toys. I mean, all together, I think I spent about fucking maybe $500 to $600 on 5 fucking Hot Toys. 5 Hot Toys last Saturday." Between last Saturday and Sunday, there's no way in hell I'm giving you fucking $500. I won't even give him $300 for the both of them, for the both of whoever the hell they're supposed to be from what company. And I was like, yo, this dude is out of his fucking mind. Like, his prices he always been a high guy, but so have I. Being that I come from New York, I'm used to charging New York prices too, so I can't blame him. But that's why that shit was still sitting there, because first of all, Hot Toys and statues don't sell in Columbus Flea Market. People are not giving you that kind of money for statues and Hot Toy figures. They're just not. You might get maybe 2 out of fucking 2,000, and I'm not bullshitting. I don't mean 20, you may get 2 fucking people out of 2,000 that will go to Columbus and pay for fucking Sideshow statues and or Hot Toy figures. And I'm one of that too. I'll stand behind that. But anyhow, so I just don't like what Hasbro's become. I mean, it's strategically stupid either way you look at it. Just because somebody have a business degree and work for a corporation don't mean they know how to fucking run a corporation, and just because they know how to run business. You have regular hustlers in the fucking street that grew up in the street hustling, trading and bartering and all that fucking shit. That's way more smart and have way better fucking accuracy for collectibles and fucking business than these assholes who run companies or like that bulldog Saint Bernard looking chick that works for fucking Hasbro. You know what I'm saying? These motherfuckers are clueless. They're stupid. They have no idea what the fuck they're doing, and that's why a lot of these companies are going under, and why a lot of people are not buying toys. I mean, how many fucking times are you gonna keep going out there and buying a fucking Marvel Legend or a wrestling figure? Like, I look at some of these people's videos on YouTube, and it makes me want to gag, because you can see the hypocrisy and bullshit behind a lot of these fucking YouTubers. A lot of these guys out there, they're ass kissers. I'm not trying to start drama. I'm just saying shit for what it is. They're fucking ass sniffling, ass kissing motherfuckers. It's all about, hey, I'm into media. I want to go to the shows and and XYZ. And hey, the company's gonna send me. Fuck that. Just like these people with these Patreon accounts. You people are so stupid. You don't realize that you're giving money to a fucking somebody, to a panhandler, somebody that's begging. I don't need no Patreon account. I mean, I do tell people, hey, if you do want to send me something, I got no problem with that. But that's on you. All this shit is from my money. I don't need no Patreon or nobody to give me shit. If you want to send me shit to review, or just because you think I'm a fucking cool guy and I'm going to give the guy's honest opinion, fine. But these companies like dealing with the atrocious, ass-kissing hypocrites. And that's why a lot of people have, and there's so many of you guys out there. This is why a lot of you motherfuckers have 30, 40, 50,000 plus views and subs. You know what I'm saying? Because, birds of a feather flock together. I'm a straight real nigga. I'm a real hood motherfucker from the streets. And at the end of the day, I'm a very nice guy, but I keep it for what I am. I don't portray to be nothing but who I am. And if people don't like it, I don't give a flying fuck what they like. At the end of the day, I'm important to those that I'm important to. You know what I'm saying? And, a lot of people have heard of, Toy Tokyo, this and that. I knew this guy for almost 30 years. And he's a Jew. He's a Jew. And, Lev is extremely business surveyed. He has a store in the city, so his prices are up. And if he likes you and respects you and he's cool with you, you can have a good friend. I mean, this guy's been trying to get me into Funko fucking Pops. He's been trying to get me into cars, all types of designer toys. And it's like, I'm like, this is what I'm stuck at. But then when I hit the prices he be quoting, and right before he throws it in my face, like, I told you, I'm like, wow, like, I'm like, yo, but that's not my thing. I don't like to get into things that I don't know anything about. So I keep it strictly for the shit I like. And, this year I turned over a huge leaf versus, like, I mean, I've always, since I've been here, way before here, I've always collected. I've always had, little moderations of this, that, and the third. Hey, this is cool, that's cool. Then I'll keep it, XYZ. I went back and forth with statues from XM to Iron Studios to Sideshow for fucking over 9 years. I've been into Hot Toys over 11. You know what I'm saying? And I say, when I mean over, I mean I've had shit that you guys would still be sitting back, drooling over. Like, I was one of the only people, not the, but I was one of the only people in the YouTube community that had crazy, I had Hot Toys that a lot of you people couldn't afford or didn't even know how to go about getting. You know what I'm saying? Not to brag or anything. I'm just calling it for what the fuck it is. There was one other dude that had just as much as I did, but, his stuff was extremely cluttered. I'm not going to mention his name, but, Spanish dude, a real cool guy. You know what I mean? But, I don't hear nothing from him. And I remember the last time we spoke was like, when my boy Luis Pepe over in Immortalizing Stone was still doing the statue reviews. I don't join anybody. I don't do anybody's no more, because a lot of people are fake. I don't like fake hypocrites, and a lot of fake and hypocrites don't like real niggas or real people. And I think that, it's not about a race thing, but I think brothers should get together more, because everybody just think middle class America, Asian, Caucasian, collectible realm. So when people see people like me, they're like, oh shit, yo, you collect toys? You into comics? it's like it's typical for a geeky Hispanic, any Asian to be into robots. When you see an Asian that are not into robots, you're like, you don't know about robots, you don't know about Pokemon, you don't what the fuck. And when you see a geeky white kid, you're like, you don't know about magic cards. It's like, why are we always putting this stereotypical stigma on what a person should be? I'm the first to fucking admit and say that I'm a black hood nigga. I'm a black ghetto hood dude. And I'm very educated, but at the same time, I'm like that because that's just who I am. I am not a fucking product of my environment. My environment is a fucking product of what and who I've become. Now, growing up, and even like my cousins, because I got over 20 years over most of my cousins. Like most of these guys in their 30s, 40s, some even 20s, and just like my brothers and sisters. Because my mom, like me and my two older brothers, even though the one that passed away was a twin, we got my brothers and sisters by almost like almost like an adult life, like lifeline compared to, you know what I'm saying, like almost like a fucking father mother like type of gap. You know what I mean? So I've always gotten older around toys because all my cousins were like fucking babies when I was a fucking adult. So, and I've always grabbed it. Like again, I will never repetitively stop saying the fact that my thing growing up was Matchbox. I was into models and Tonka trucks, Tonka shit too. Corgi, Tootsie, Dinky toys. That was a shit that I liked because I didn't like the 60s and 70s G.I. Joes. I thought they were like, they look gay. I didn't like the way they looked. The fucking G.I. Joe figures, they had them hands that were like, they looked stupid. And the weapons couldn't fit in it. And I thought the Ken doll, no pun intended, I thought the Ken dolls looked way more masculine. I mean, the G.I. Joes had better articulation. But if you take the G.I. Joe weapons and clothing and you put it on a Ken doll, Ken looked more masculine and more like a boy action figure than a G.I. Joe figure look. They made him look dumb, and then they figured, hey, we'll put that little stupid scar and that'll be it. The motherfucker had these cerebral palsy type hands, and they just looked dumb. The outfits were nice, and even though they had the plastic molded, crusty, even back then, non-realistic, crusty looking weapons and hats and plastic boots, but the clothing were really good, especially the astronaut and Sailor shit was really, really nice. But you put them shits on a fucking Ken doll, they were fucking immaculate. They were fucking great. But it just wasn't my thing. So as a gag gift, one around my birthday, my mom got me, because she knows I was into models and loved the military, etc., etc., etc. So first thing she got me was the fucking Vamp. She got me a Vamp and Rock and Roll, because I don't think at that time she knew that the Vamp had a driver, which was Clutch. So she gave me the truck as a gag gift and Rock and Roll. I remember Rock and Roll because he had the yellow hair with the yellow beard, and he had the bullets going across his chest, all green fatigue outfit on, and the green Vamp. So about maybe a couple of days or so later, I opened up the box, and you got the sticker sheet. You got to take all the weapons and stuff off the tree, put this thing together, and then you had to figure. But I had two because, again, I didn't know just as well as she didn't know that Clutch was in the box with the Vamp. And that right there, because before that, I used to collect the Star Wars figures. Well, these guys, let me see, right here. But I only got the ones that look like the animals. I didn't get like Leia, Luke, Han Solo, because like anything that looked like that was the real portrait looked like shit. I got the Lando because he was black and he had the mustache, curly hair. He could pass as Lando better than what they did with Leia, Luke, Han Solo. I did get Chewie and a lot of anything like the stormtroopers and shit like that. And the ships, I went crazy with the ships back then. But I just put that shit away. So she got me that as a gag gift, like here you go, and I fucking fell in love. And since then, I've always been a big articulated guy. I've always been into articulated figures, and I went from Matchbox and all that stuff to this kind of stuff. So that's why I have the love I have, and that's what started the history for G.I. Joe for me. Everything in here is nostalgic. A lot of things in here are nostalgic because of, as I got older, what I, you can still be a grown ass man and fucking still grow up in this era. I mean, same shit. You don't have to be a child. You know what I'm saying? So when I say I grew up or I grew up on this, doesn't mean that I was a kid. It just means that whatever. And then my cousins had My Buddy and Master Universe and all this stuff. So Christmas, the holidays is really big in my family. We all grew up and live in a small, closed, knitted area in East New York. Like I had my cousins who had who rented the house across the street from where my great uncle James and his family had a house. Then next door was the Williamses. So we all grew up together. Then the Ishmans, well, my uncle, my mother's brother David, he's dead now. He married into the Ishman family or vice versa. Now, yeah, the Ishmans, they are black, even though they have a Jewish last name because they come from Jewish whatever. And you know what I mean. So that was family too. And then around the corner, they own another two houses. And then my cousin Junior, which is my uncle James' son, which is my grandmother's brother, my great uncle, excuse me, which is my mother's uncle. Son, which is basically my mother's first cousin, and they're best friends. He owned a house at the corner. So my family lived in a fucking 4-block radius. So the holidays, especially Christmas, Thanksgiving, it was more like my mom and my grandmother, my late grandmother, my mother's mother. We always did things together because like my grandmother raised my two older brothers, the two twins. Because like I said, my mom was young when she had them, and back then, the system either took you or family took the kids. They wouldn't let you raise a child. Now it's totally, you got fucking 11-year-olds got custody of their own kids, but back then it wasn't like that. And I was a year younger than the two older brothers, the two twins. So, and I'm not close with one because he spent most of his adult life in prison. I mean, he's doing 25 to life, while the other one was out hustling, selling drugs, doing shit, but he stopped doing that and started getting his life together. But because he got shot in the neck from that street life, and then he was fucking always drinking and smoking. Even after they told him not to, he wound up developing and he had a heart murmur as a kid anyway. He started developing lung issues at first, and being that he always drunk too, he had liver issues on top of that. So he was like, fuck it. He felt like he should have been dead back in 89 to 90 or something like that when he got shot. So, you know what I'm saying? So I was like my own brother growing up, because it's like my baby brother was too busy following behind my uncles and my brothers' criminal lifestyle and fucking footsteps with drugs and robbing and doing dumb shit like that, and hanging out with the street niggas in East New York, especially over there on fucking Pickens Avenue and Van Sicklen and Pickens Projects. They love that area. And you know what I mean? And it was just crazy. And it wasn't me. I was more into like other shit. And my brother's already like what? Way older than my baby brother at that time. And then my uncles was going, and my uncles I think my Uncle Carnell and my Uncle David, I think they were, because let me see, my mother was like 16 or 17 when she had me, so she had to be either 15 or 16 when she had the two older brothers. So I would say she was probably around 20 or so when she, I don't know, when she started getting, I don't even fucking remember. But anyway, so my uncles, my youngest uncles is George, and my aunt Elizabeth, they call her Kitten. And I think me and my two older brothers are probably 6 to 9 years younger than my aunt Elizabeth, aka Kitten, and my uncle George. And I think my Uncle Carnell and my Uncle David is probably between 12 and 14 or so years older than me and my other brother, because the other one passed away. And my other brother is actually still up. I think he's still upstate now, still doing time for the 25 to life. So so my friends and people, and I ain't gonna lie, I was a grown ass man hanging out at the time with 16 and 18-year-olds. It might sound a little weird, but they was into shit I was into. I was an older dude that didn't want to hang out with motherfuckers in my crowd because they was too busy getting everybody pregnant, drinking, and doing dumb shit. That wasn't my scene, because I grew up seeing what that did to in my family, and that wasn't me. So I turned another leaf. I went a whole nother route than what they went. I went the opposite of what everybody went. And it just wasn't me. So I looked down on that kind of shit, selling drugs, robbing, just doing straight hood shit. But I am a hood dude. I am a dude from the hood. I am definitely somebody who came from Brooklyn, East New York at that, and I have a real huge survival chip over my shoulders because I went another route and I just did me, and all this, everything, all this is me. And even though I have cousins that aren't with me no more, or cousins that outgrew all this stuff and whatnot, this is just me. This is stuff that it's nostalgic to me, and you know, in other ways than others, if that makes any sense. Like I can't really explain it. All I can say is it's just me. You know, I guess if this is the Batman animated movie, I'll be the black version of the Toy Man. Except I won't be diabolically scheming against society and people. But you know, I hold myself to a specific torch because, again, for people like me, it's very special and different. For people of my color and people that come from the same kind of background I come from as blacks, because a lot of people don't think and view. It's just like when you see a lot of Caucasian women with brothers, they're always slim, tall, bald-headed, clean-shaved, and or they grungy looking. They look like almost hippies or Rastas. Like, you know, they dress kind of grungy. They got guitars. They got these fucking like Lenny Kravitz looking motherfuckers with braids and dreads and all that shit. You don't see a lot of Caucasian women with regular ghetto looking dudes from the hood. So it's just like appearances and things, and it's like I'm only saying all this because, you know, it's just different. You know, it really intrigues me to be able to conversate and deal with individuals like my boys, Fam Eric and Fam Alex. You know, they're brothers, they're blood brothers, and I met them at an Edison show last year, I think. And you know, with White Eric, the promoter, and you know, he came up to my booth. We spoke a little bit. We exchanged numbers, and thanks to that video of me being at Woodbridge, when I got all that Ghostbuster stuff, you know, Eric called me up one day, and ever since then, boom, him and his brother been like this, and it's for a lot of reasons. I mean, I'm a lot older than both of them, obviously. But it doesn't matter, you know, age is a fucking number, you know what I mean? But, you know, I think they're both in their, I would say, 30s or 40s or something like that. But, real cool guys, though, man. And, you know, they both been around, and, you know, they hood guys like I am. Now, just because we use the word hood, I mean, you know, it's like, for instance, me being a person of color, the way Caucasian America or others view Muslims, like when a lot of them use the word Muslim, they normally use the interpretation of like terrorist and or extremists. But when I use the word Muslim, I look at people that are endearingly into Allah and peaceful and just Muslims. Like, you know, I look at anybody from, you know, any Mediterranean person as that. So it's a whole different perspective and view. But if you don't experience or sample any of that, you wouldn't really understand it, except for your own terminology of what you think of this. You know, me on the other instance, you know, it's like the same thing when I say things like hood, ghetto or hood. It doesn't necessarily mean like I sat back and sold drugs and drunk 40s in the hallway in the back steps of the fucking projects. It just means that I'm a dude from the hood, a dude that grew up in the inner urban cities with high crime. And, you know, I grew up and lived around houses and the projects my whole life growing up. And being that I'm from the hood and I've seen how cops treated people where I come from and all that, doesn't make me bitter or bad. It just makes me want to change. And what I've seen in my life is why I became the person I am. To not only break that stigma, but I never really been the kind of person that view or give a flying fuck what anybody think of me. I wouldn't be doing these videos if that's the case. I'm a real motherfucker who keeps it real, and I'm straightforward. I don't put a facade up or fake anything. Who I am is what I am, and what I am is who I'm gonna be. And you know, I just like it when I come across a lot of guys that come from where I come from who can fucking relate, and they're into the kind of stuff I'm into. Because everybody just think that, oh, once we turn 10, 11 years old, we start going outside robbing niggas, selling fucking drugs, drinking 40s, and enjoy riding in vehicles, getting guns and just doing dumb shit. No. A lot of us, we're human just like you are. Just because I got a darker skin color and I come from the hood, don't fucking mean that I'm an animal or I'm less than you are because you come from you come from the suburbs and a better school curriculum with your parents having better jobs and you having a more full refrigerator and more toys and more things going in your favor. And this is why I really urge a lot of brothers that, I think a lot of us should be banding together and showing more support for each other as an individual because, I think we as blacks, we also have a huge story to tell, not only in the music and media industry, but just in all life generalization on how and why we wear what we wear, why we choose to dress, whether we wear urban wear or whether we wear grunge, village stuff. I mean, we all have a story too. And that's something I really want to try to work on as far as doing a YouTube series and or a YouTube show it's for any and everybody. But a black urban ghetto fucking spin on why we're into toys and what toys has done for us. I mean, middle America, white America, we all know that, hey, you guys are always in the commercials. You come from a better, different upbringing to where your parent, every weekend you go with grandma and auntie and uncle, or just say auntie or uncle and shit, or with grandma or your parents. For me, I only got shit on special occasions. And most of the time, it wasn't for my birthday. It was always Christmas, Easter, and fucking Thanksgiving. You know what I'm saying? Like, for black folks, we got a couple things for our birthdays, but it wasn't nowhere near consistent as Caucasian America. Caucasian America, you guys, your parents and families and even your friends' family members and shit would always take you guys, hey, can so and so come, can we take Blasey Blah with us to Chuck E. Cheese or whatever this weekend? Yeah, sure. So they'll buy their kids a toy and they'll be like, all right, Blasey Blah, pick out what you want too. And then you had your aunt, your uncle, your grandparents, your parents every other weekend or every weekend. Y'all go out eating, y'all go somewhere, y'all go to, they'll take you to the toy store and you're able to get one or two toys. And then for fucking Christmas was Christmas. For us, Christmas was like 2 or 3 toys. For fucking Christmas, almost everything under the tree was for you and yours. And if you were the only kid, fucking forget about it. It'll take you it'll take you to New Year's to open your shit. And then, for Easter with y'all, it wasn't like Easter was really big for Hispanics and blacks. But Easter for us was more of an outfit type thing. It wasn't even really going out. It was really like you may go out eating to Sizzler or somewhere, but it was mainly, you pick the outfit out and and that was it. And normally you have an outfit, a new pair of sneakers, and then when school come back from the break, you would have something new, like if you had the first day of school. But for white America and shit, you guys are more into the Easter candy and every other thing. It's just different. Different backgrounds, different everything is what makes us all unique in our own way. So I think it's great when we can band together and we can share our own experiences on toys and why we collect what we collect and like what we collect. Because let's face it, I'll say about at least 65 to 75% of the motherfuckers up here on YouTube got all this stuff because we couldn't afford it growing up, and or they sold it or it got damaged. You have maybe 10 to 15% individuals up here that still have shit from childhood. But the huger percentage is just from what I basically said it was. So it's always something on why you collect what you collect. You know what I'm saying? So with that basically being said, what I think and how I think of the new toy game, in a way it sounds hypocritical, but it's not, because I like to collect shit. I love the hunt. I love going and hunting. I love the toy hunting shit. It's just something I like to do. I'm a toy hunt guy. I like to physically be around and get stuff. So I can't walk up into just any Target or Walmart and walk up and get a lot of this stuff that I wish I can. It's the same shit that everybody and their grandmother get. But now when you got stores like Ross and Ollie's, you know, you paying $25, $32 for a fucking figure, and then like a month or two later, is in the store for like fucking 40 to 70% under retail. I'm not with that. Now I am upset with myself because I should have been nearly finished with my Star Wars, my G.I. Joe, and my Transformer lot. All that stuff, and Mask, all that shit should have basically almost been done already, because I done put so much money in NECA, wrestling figure. I mean, I went crazy with so much shit because it was so easy. It was so easily accessible, and it was just easier for me to spend my money on that than to sit there and search online and buy this stuff. Because I always sat back and waited. Oh, I'm gonna come across this in one of the two flea markets. Oh, I'm gonna come across this stuff in the toy show. And it's been almost 1.5 years later to where I'm more serious into getting the stuff I need to finish off, that I don't come across it. You know, I see them online, and I'm like, and you know, the more you look online, the more insane the prices are, because this shit is only going up. It's not going down. Especially for like a lot of the specialty shit that I need from from G.I. Joe and all this. Like, it's been like, what, maybe 3.5, 4 months now since I've been into the Master Universe. And what did I say? I said it was going to be a lot easier for me to come across this stuff. And I'll probably finish this collection a lot quicker than I'll finish any of my other ones, because there's only, what, when I heard it was like 70 to 72 figures to complete the He-Man wave. And since I had so much He-Man shit, and I got this stuff and I accumulated it for my boy Dave. When he decided he didn't know what he was going to do, and he just kept going on about, well, I mean, I respect it. You know, hey, he wants all his stuff complete already, because I guess he wants to move. You know, not everybody likes the thrill of the hunt. I like the thrill of the hunt, so I don't mind getting a figure and then finding pieces to complete it. It makes it more worth it for me. But you got some people that they don't want to do that. They don't want to do that footwork. They just want, fuck it. Hey, I want to complete. That's it. But I did have a lot of stuff that was in fucking phenomenal condition, great condition, play sets and all that. So I was like, fuck it. You know, by him not taking this stuff, by David not taking the stuff, look what I've done. Look what I've fucking created. So I definitely owe my boy Dave. I owe him for this. In a great way. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have this stuff. I mean, I'll have more room here, but I wouldn't have this stuff. So I have to thank my boy David for the fact that he did not take that stuff. And he was going to get the shit for like under fucking $500. At the time, I needed the money for other shit. But by him not taking the stuff, I am fucking eternally grateful. Eternally. Get it? Eternally grateful, Eternia. So, you know what I'm saying? So thanks, Dave, for not doing that. And I'm already virtually almost halfway into the collection. As a matter of fact, hold on a second. I'm going to pause this and count how many figures I have now. Alright, so I kept getting confused because I have some doubles here of certain figures to army build. But there's 68 figures. Yes, 68, because I have one of them. I have the Terraclaw Skeletor downstairs, but I have to change out his legs. So there's 68, and that's not including the She-Ra stuff. That's just the Masters of the Universe. But if anybody out there know, let me know, because I have to do some more research. I do have the dragon on top of that. I do have the dragon, and I have that mosquito animal thingamajig, and I also have Battle Cat now. I mean, not Battle Cat, Panther. So without those, there's 68. I don't know if the dragon is considered a figure, or I don't know. But if it doesn't, then that'll be 69. So I do know they did say that it's so and so, but there are variations to Master of Universe, and this one guy did have the variant version of Beastman and with the yellow stuff, and I fucking forgot to pick that up. I meant to pick it up from him, but I forgot. I have 2 versions of the original He-Man. I believe I have 2 versions of the original Skeletor. Oh, I counted Skeletor twice. So that'll be 67. 'Cause I'm looking at him now. I got one up here and one down here on Panther. So that's actually 67. So yeah, there's 67 of them, including Rotor and the other one. So yeah, there's 67 of them guys. So if anybody out there can let me know who I may be missing, actually you guys won't know if you guys don't know what figures I have, right? That would make sense. So, but yeah, I'm virtually almost done with that. I have Eternia. I do need parts for it. I have this. Oh, there it is. I have that thing down there. I do need to get some pieces to finish off Eternia, which I'm not really worried about. And I picked up from the Antique Collectible Mall in Livingston. I picked up Ninjor. I think his name is Sorod, which is ironic because I actually wound up getting one. I picked up the Dragon. I picked up a lot of stuff from him. It cost me around. He gave me a deal. I paid $1,500 for a lot of it, but it was a lot of stuff that I needed, and the stuff isn't cheap, and they weren't complete. There are some figures I do need to complete, but I'll get weapons sooner or later. So I always come across Master Universe weapons, so I'm not really sweating it. You know what I mean? But that is a line that I'm virtually almost done. So it is great to almost be done with the original Masters line. And then later on, I'll worry about variants. But outside of that, getting back to this. I mean, in all due respect, I can understand and dig the fact that, you buy what you want. But it does get very nerve-wracking that people are bitching and moaning about toys that you can get anywhere. Like, you got some people raving great and ranting bad on the HasLab His Tank. I support old school Hasbro. I don't support new school Hasbro. Even the Transformers look like shit. For years, their plastic has downgraded and downgraded. Every year it gets worse and worse, and every fucking year it looks more like a licensed box version of a fucking crappy ass fucking discount store figure. Because back in like 2009, 2010-ish, when you looked at a Transformer in the fucking box, it had that look. It was real strong and sturdy. Then around 2011, 12, they start giving you shittier plastic, and you're like, what the fuck? The figures look like shit. They don't transform as well. They use cheaper plastic, and it's like now the way they went now with Transformers and other toys, they look like a shitty ass. It looked like if you go to like a discount store, like one of those Indian stores where they sell balloons and birthday stuff. And it's like a regular spot that's owned, at least in New York, they're owned by a lot of Middle Easterns, especially people from Bangladesh and India, where they serve. I mean, they'll have like little specialty shops, and they'll be the ones that it'll say, it won't say Transformers. It'll be like transforming robots or robot form or something like that, and it'll be like their own bootleg version of Transformers in a shitty box with shitty figures, and that's basically how all these toys look now. As far as Transformers and shit go, they use real cheap molded plastic. It looks like fucking crap. Even the artwork and stuff isn't that. I mean, it looks way better than the shit in those stores I'm mentioning, but that's just where it's going now. And it's like, how many fucking Marvel Legends are the same fucking figure you're gonna do? How many? I mean, the Marvel Universe is so huge, and it's like now even with McFarlane DC stuff, he keep making the same characters over and over again. I mean, how long do these companies expect? Well, and the thing is, it's not, people are not buying this shit for kids. Kids don't want this. Kids want fucking cards. They want cards and digital shit. They're into the digital thing. This is what kids want. Get them a fucking X-Men. Get them an X-Men or a Batman fucking phone. Why don't these phone companies make a specific, or you know what? I think Samsung and or fucking iPhone need to make a special edition, like somebody should do a special edition Pokemon type phone that gives you a whole bunch of Pokemon games that a developer makes for that. You'll make money on that. Can you imagine somebody walking around with a fucking Pokemon edition, a special Pokemon edition iPhone, or like a DC / Marvel, or either or both version of a Samsung, where where you get downloaded movies and downloaded games on a fucking collaborated cell phone. Why don't you guys think of shit like that? Because that's what these fucking kids want. Kids are into this shit. Kids are not into this. these kids don't want this. Like, you got little kids that may, you know, like they may pick up a couple of turtles here and there, but 70 to 75% of kids nowadays don't want this. 70-75% of fucking kids want this. They want digital stuff. They like living in their phones. They don't want this shit. This stuff is catered to us. To you guys, because I'm fucking a lot older than you guys in your 30s and 40s and 20s and shit. But anyway, you guys catch my drift. Because back in my day, we like going outside, we like sports, we like video gaming, and we like fucking toys. You know, we had imaginations. We grew up on imaginations. We grew up on you know, like shit. Where I come from, yo, we ain't have foam mats. We had wood, real wood and metal monkey bars and playgrounds with a real fucking 6.5, 7 foot fucking slide drop right into the fucking concrete, right straight into concrete with broken glass. We grew up on playing basketball, dodgeball, and tennis, and even tennis and all that shit in fucking pure concrete playground with glass everywhere. We used to get scuffed and scratched up. We didn't go for tetanus shots. We know what I'm saying, we licked it. We went home. Your mom or your grandmother was trying to say, what happened? Oh, I cut myself. You know, they'll wipe it down, this, that, and the third, and you go back and you go back another day. Now, you know, everybody's fucking sissified nowadays. And if you're not a sissy or sissified, you're condemned. You know, it's like, yo, everything is just fucking retarded. You know, when I had to get and do book reports, I had to go to the library. I remember my mom it took my mother 2 to 3 years to pay off the Britannica encyclopedias. My mother still she have a whole fucking set from A through Z of all the Britannica encyclopedias she brought. And my mother was very proud, just like my god grandmother. They had a full set of that. You know, that shit used to cost thousands of dollars. For a cheap set, that shit cost like $25 to $2,800 for a whole fucking from A to Z of the encyclopedias. And when my mom brought it, every 3 months they would give her 3 to 5. So it took my mom like what, maybe 7-8 months to get from A to Z, and she still had to pay it off. That's why she still owns that shit to this day. You guys we had to go to the library for book reports and this, that, and the third. And I remember when a personal computer came out, it was only one place, at least in New York, you can get it from. Because, you know, you guys got to remember, Circuit City and Best Buy, Walmart didn't come to New York City until like the mid to early 90s and 2000s. We didn't have Chuck E. Cheese and all that. That shit came in the mid to late 90s and 2000s for us. We didn't have that stuff in New York. You know what I mean? You guys had Walmart and all that stuff down in South in the fucking 80s and stuff. We didn't have that. I didn't even know what the fuck Walmart was until like the mid 2000s. Like, you know, like all jokes aside, like the 5 boroughs, we didn't have that shit. What the fuck is a Walmart? Like, we didn't have all that. You know, like Best Buy and Circuit City and all that. That shit, that shit is all new to us. Wait, what? What the fuck is that? You know what I'm saying? So for us, the only place to get a personal computer, and that shit cost like $1,500 for garbage. And that was the fucking Tandy 1000. And Tandy 1000, you could only get it from Radio Shack. And Radio Shack was charging bread for one. A cheap, shitty one was like $1,500. A decent one for you to do your own book reports and all that was fucking, and there's still no internet, was like $3,000 in Radio Shack. The Tandy 1000 was one of the first fucking personal PCs that you can have in your home. These fucking kids nowadays got all this shit on the phone. You remember back in the day where in order to get long distance phone calls, or in my case, my uncles and brothers to call long distance and all that, you had to have that. You had to have MCI and or Sprint to even be able to have collect calls from prisons and being able to have people call you from different states and all that. And back when I was growing up, you paid for phone calls per fucking minute. And if you ain't have a Sprint or MCI plan, regular, like, you know, South Bell South, and Verizon and New York Telephone Company, you paid them motherfuckers an arm and a leg per phone call. You know what I mean? And then if you had call waiting, it was even more. So these motherfuckers like, yo, there is no more. Hey, I gotta use the phone. There, all that shit is here now. This is what kids want. Kids don't want these fucking toys. It's all toys for grown-ups. So I don't know why these imbeciles in Mattel and Hasbro and everybody keep doing the same stupid shit. Then the dumbest thing they do, because their whole marketing, I think everybody's marketing department should be fucking fired, because you cannot sit here and tell me, oh, you're big into toys and this and that, and you guys are dragging the company down. You guys are making the same fucking toys. So what? If people fuck all that, well, everybody needs to get this, and we got, well, fuck them. You're a collector. You missed out on the fucking piece. Whether you didn't have the money, you missed out on it, or you got into the collection late. Fuck you. Do like we all had to do. Go the fuck out. Go in a second and third market and go and buy the fucking thing like everybody else. Why do you think you're so fucking entitled that these Neanderthals gotta backtrack what the fuck they doing so they can cater to your funky ass just because you missed out on a fucking piece a year or 6-7 months ago? Then buy it on the secondary market. So now what all these ass clowns are doing, they all fucking shipping the same one fucking figure. The same one fucking figure per case. Then you guys are wondering why they putting out 8 or 9 of the same fucking cases with the same one fucking figure per case on shelves. And then you're wondering why nobody's buying it and why it's shelf warming or peg warming. Because the assholes are not putting assortments. You're supposed to put assortments of shit per case. Not the same one figure per case. Then you put in fucking anywhere from 3+ cases per store. And then you're wondering why when scalpers and other people are going up in toy stores, they're like, damn, I'm seeing the same figure everywhere. I didn't have to go to school for business to understand that. I understand it because it's common fucking sense. This is why a lot of these companies are now deciding to try to say, you know what, hey, we're gonna get people to back this and back that so we can play it safe, so we can get them to put money together. And so in other words, you're basically charging people for commissions. So you people are too stupid and naive to sit back and realize that, hey, these guys are doing the same thing they did in the 1/6 scale community. None of these companies are coming up with their ideas themselves. They're getting this stuff from commissioners, from people that commission pieces. I know guys that commission statues and 1/6 scale figures over 15 years ago. And that's what these companies are doing. They're commissioning pieces. They are charging you idiots, because that's what you are. They're charging you fucking idiots premium money for fucking less quality shit so they can get you to put money down and back their bullshit, and then you Neanderthals go out there and do it, and then you bitch, moan, and complain when the fucking shit comes out mass produced like garbage. So why the fuck help put money in their pocket to commission garbage that they're selling to you that doesn't meet standards? And I sit back and I'm like, you know what? I'm glad I got rid of my G.I. Joe classifieds when I got rid of them. Yeah, I still have some, but they mean shit to me. I only kept the ones I really, really like. And why I got rid of my NECA and all this other shit. I mean, yeah, there's certain lines I have from NECA, like the Gargoyles and the fucking, I got the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie stuff. I don't care about Secret of the Ooze and Part 3. You know, the first movie is way more than fine with me. I mean, if I can get Kino, and if I can get the 4 turtles from the second movie, fine, so be it. But if not, I'm not gonna fucking cry and kill myself over it neither. You know what I mean? And of course, I think I got some Gremlins and some E.T. shit too, because those are nostalgic movies. But I don't need every fucking turtle and every Terminator. Like yesterday, yeah, that's right. Yes, yeah. So yesterday, like I said, I made almost $1,000. And the stuff I got from that dude Eric, SP Eric, South Philly Eric. Nobody wanted that shit. I think I sold Jason. One chick, she brought a couple of items for me, and I gave her. I basically broke even on the stuff that I sold because I paid about $10 each per figure. And I don't think I sold. I think I sold maybe a couple of maybe 1 or 2 Marvel Legends, maybe 4. I don't even remember, but I still have a mass majority of a lot of that shit. So I broke even on what I paid for them. And I guess if I look at the fact that what I paid him and what I sold, because I did sell some items that I had, like I sold my old Jordans, like I got rid of my premium infrareds, my white infrareds, and I got rid of my was it the I forgot which ones, but the Carolina lows. I think they're the retro 11 low. They're white and blue. I got rid of those because I don't wear them that much, and I'm kind of getting out of the Jordan game, and I'm getting more into just New Balance and shit like that because they're a comfortable sneaker. And I've never been a fan of Michael Jordan. I don't like him, and I'm pretty sure he don't give a flying fuck because I'm pretty sure the feeling's mutual. I love the on the court Michael Jordan, but I don't like him as an individual off court. And to be honest, his sneakers are overrated, overpriced, and overrated, uncomfortable, and they're garbage. So I'm to the age now. Well, I've always been to the age, but I'm more into just like I see a pair of sneakers I like, they're comfortable, I'm buying them. I don't give a fuck about the Jumpman on it. You know, I'm past that fucking phase. And plus, his sneakers are overpriced garbage. They're very uncomfortable and they're garbage. But people love them. Hey, so be it. So I took 3 pairs out, sold those. So that's where like 250 of my dollars went. And I did a deal with this white dude named Dave that I know. He's cool. So we both sit up next to each other. And he actually traded me some Power Ranger parts. He had a box of, he brought up big Power Ranger collection. He sold a lot of shit. He sold a lot of Power Ranger stuff. And I'm talking about like regular figures, but he had almost every one of them. I didn't want to get into that. I should have. But he'll have them out next time. So I'll probably pick up some whatever's left over. He had a lot of the bad guys, all in like the 5.5, 6-inch line. But he had all types. So I took all the, Megazord parts. Actually, we put over the side because, I'm a toy guy. And I was going to help him put them together. But I don't think he has one full. I mean, yesterday I was tired because I got there at 1:45 in the morning. He was there before me, and like for the last 2.5, 3 hours, we were all on the line waiting to get in. So everybody was extremely cranky and tired. I was extremely cranky and tired yesterday, and so I wound up buying the box of parts anyway because it is kind of hard to find Power Ranger Megazord parts. And we made a deal, so I gave him like 2 boxes of toy fodder that I really didn't want anyway. And so we did that, and then I picked up Rocksteady and another figure, I think, from the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle line, and we did a trade, and I only wound up coming $10 out of my pocket, which was fine. That's all I got yesterday. Today I was going to go to Columbus, but when I woke up around 5:30, I was like, I'm not going. And I'm glad because I called and I spoke to my boy Jerry Matt. And his name is Matt, but again, I call him Jerry's Matt because I met him through Jerry. And he said there wasn't that much stuff out there. He said it wasn't that good, but that was around 6:20. So between 6:20 and God knows when, people do take, like, let me see. So people don't start coming in until 6:30, like the dailies. So who knows who had what, but you can't miss what you don't get. And what you don't see. So it is what it is. I stayed home. I was extremely tired anyway. So I didn't get anything today. So yesterday, what did I get? I did get like an old Spider-Man costume from the guy next to me. And then that was it. I got that, and I did a trade with David, and that was it. I didn't find it. I didn't find anything from nobody. Nobody had anything I needed or wanted. This other brother, this other dude, he did have some vintage He-Man figures. But every one of them, his Tila was the best figure. It was in great condition, and he said if I bought a lot of it, he would do $5 across the board. And I picked out almost everything. Then when I kept looking at them, I'm like, I don't really need these. Their legs were kind of wobbly on all of them, and I'm like, I'm gonna pay $5 just to make 6 or 7, because most of these guys I'm gonna put like 10 and 12 on them, and somebody's gonna actually would I take 6 or 7 anyway. So I was like, you know what? Maybe next week when you got more stuff, we'll do something. And I was like, I really didn't do that good today anyway, because it was kind of a bad day. But some of you are like, damn, dude, you did like a G. How you sitting here talking about that's not good? For me, it's not. I understand that most people they make half that in a week. After taxes and stuff, some people come home with like 400 to 500, maybe even a little over 500 a week. I do understand that, Doesn't make me better than you. No, don't make me think I am. I get that. But in my kind of business, you know, you guys, all you guys got to do is show up to work. You do your job. You got a paycheck coming. I have to spend money to make money. So if I don't have money to spend, I don't have money to buy, and I don't have money to make money. So I'm my own boss, which is a good thing, but it's a bad thing because you have to rely on you. You know, when you have a boss and a job, you rely on your boss to nurture you. You're relying on your boss to feed you because your boss having a company and having a job and a career is what gives you your job. Me, I'm everything. So if I don't go out there and provide for myself, I can't provide for myself, and I can't help provide for my family. So that's the difference. You understand? So it's hard for me. But you know, moving back to what I was saying about, I just feel like instead of you guys bitching and moaning all the time about these fucking toys, stop collecting them. You know, like stop giving HasLab and Hasbro and Mattel Creations or what the fuck they call it and all these companies, stop giving them your money. You know, go and collect vintage shit because the vintage stuff is better. Nothing beats a classic. I don't care how nice and articulated they make the new stuff look. Yes, they are, but listen, nothing beats a classic. If you want secure money, look behind me. I'm going to leave it as that.